The ways of the world are dumbing down. The number of people who spend their days wasting away staring at their phone like sheep far outnumber the intellectuals with at least an IQ of 170. Those who spend their days trying to forge a false outward appearance dilute the population in stark contrast to those of us whom spend their days studying the ways of old, forging our own paths, reading history textbooks, or learning foreign languages using Google Translate. But I will show you how to raise your intelligence. These 3 steps will ascend you to the next level, to rise above the normies of today's society. Join me for this 3-step program. Cut down on your slang. There is one thing that can immediately separate you from the herd. Saying things with such butchered English do not deem to be considered English in the first place. Why speak English if you're only going to speak it wrongly? Take by my example, only speaking incomplete English sentences that do not utilize slang of any kind. Take an IQ test. The only way to track your progress to gain intellectual superiority is to know where you are. Even those men who have an high IQ, relative to the average human, like Einstein or Stephen Hawking, pale in comparison to Neil deGrasse Tyson nor I. And soon, you will be on the same level. Make sure to assert your intelligence every opportunity you get, like a vegan with a gluten allergy. Even if you are wrong, which will never happen, mind you, when you have a high IQ. Make sure your enemy knows you have a far superior IQ, so that they know you are, in fact, knowledgeable of everything. The final step to gaining intelligence is to realize that society is wrong about everything. You must wake up to the reality that society is on the decline. You must become woke. Notice how the average Homo sapien conforms to society. Not us, not the intellectuals. We notice when there is a trap. To become woke, realize that social media, high school, college, the workplace, organized religion, and women are all out to get you, to normalize you and make you one of their own sheep. You have to drop your association with any of the aforementioned nouns in order to become truly woke and awaken your inner intelligence. Your only friend in this world are other intellectuals, textbooks, and Wikipedia, or other knowledge sources. You must decline the advance of this society to raise your true intelligence. Let's do a case study and examine some real-life intellectuals that you may learn to be like I am. If Batman wants so badly to be a bat, he might be more intriguing if, like Marvel's Daredevil, he were also blind like a bat. Take a look at this intellectual role model. Look at his grammar, which is flawless. As every genius knows, it is important to spew proper grammar. Also, take note that he uses top-tier diction, such as intriguing. Being Tyson, he's able to skip step 2, which is asserting your IQ. We all know that Tyson is already at pinnacle intelligence. In step 3, you must be woke. Tyson calls out the completely absurd thought that Batman, who so badly wants to be a bat, as shown in the comments, is also not blind. You see, it is important to be woke to pop culture, as it is one of the metaphorical shepherds of society's sheep. Now, let's move on to another case. For some reason, it's acceptable for people to point out that I have no sense of humor, but unacceptable for me to point out that they're actually just way too dumb to understand my dry wit. Let's look for the standard procedure. Proper grammar is present, with exception to a period, but we'll let that slide. Part 2 is very important. Make sure it is known that your intelligence is on a higher level. Just shower thoughts humor is just such a high INT requirement that nobody has adequate stats to comprehend dry wit. Part 3 has such an immense presence that it even converted a sheep to view shower thoughts as a god with an accurate depiction of their brain. Let's move on to the last case study. Now we take a look at one of the woke individuals of society, specifically on Reddit. The subject are these Nuka-Cola bar stools that are obviously just the product of a fraudulent artist, posing as someone who actually likes or plays Fallout, when in reality they know nothing about Fallout nor art.
I see you put some effort in it. However, those Nuka-Cola caps look brand new. which doesn't make sense considering the post-apocalyptic setting of the game, and the letters are a bit too bold, which I had to notice as an art major of a prestigious university, as well as someone who takes Fallout seriously. My assumption is that you aren't familiar enough with the game or lack the skill or patience to make the tools truly genuine. Overall, it is a solid effort, but there's a lot of room for improvement. It might impress casual observers, but not a connoisseur and a well-informed gamer like me.
Step 1. Grammar. This person's grammar is impeccable, making sure every piece of his literature is in tip-top shape. This is the first aspect that tipped me off that this person is in fact woke. Step 2. Assert your dominance as an intellectual. If there's anything that can win an intellectual battle, it is the fact that you are of greater intellect. There are two ways to do this. One is to blatantly state your IQ, which works in some cases. But in the case of art, IQ does not have a direct effect on your ability to create art. However, the fact that you are a major in art at a prestigious university proves that your statements are facts. Step 3. Be woke. This commenter is obviously woke. He is a self-proclaimed, well-informed gamer who is obviously on a higher level of humanity than the casual observer. Another note, this person is also woke to the fact that the artist is fake in one of two ways. One way is that the artist has never played a Fallout game in his or her life, and is much like any gamer girls, or in another way, the artist is fraudulent in the way that they lack the skill to make a 3000 to 1 scale ratio of an in-game bottle cap to perfect detail, which makes him at least an unskilled artist. In any case, we can see this individual is of high intellect, and I salute him. Postscript, his comment has -4 points. As the case with many intellectuals, sheep will downvote an intellectual thought that jeopardizes their identities. Let's conclude our lesson. Being an intellectual is the only value in life. Any other qualities of life aren't even comparable. This is why it's important to increase your intelligence until the day you die. Stay woke.